Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Full food.
I'm doing well, man.
I thought I had enough time to finish chewing a Zeppeli. Apparently not. How you doing? This
It happens. It happens. I thought I had enough time to. I'm just saying live with John Swingbox. I always think I have enough time with my intros, and it's always like a little too short. I'm just like scrambling by the time it's ready to start. I'm good, man. I've been really good. I'm busy, crazy busy, but I mean, I've been great working on getting this book done, obviously, and not only that, but getting as many eyes as possible, so that way production's as smooth as possible. But it's been great, watching this project come to life, bit by bit, page by page, whatever, and I'm loving it.
I just want to say, fooled you, Eric the Guapo. We launched exactly at 7:00, so no shame, no shame. So.
Oh,
first off, let's just say I got a Heroic Tales 2 is currently on a Kickstarter, and I kind of just I haven't really been promoting much lately. My last job closed down. I went to a new job, and it's just crazy. So I've been focusing a lot on work. What I like about this new job is I'm getting to do all the cool electrical stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's the kind of electrical stuff that the supers, like, boys get to do. Like today I was working on a transformer, like that is like they call it the glory work. So I got to take out this like 80-year-old transformer, take out all the wires. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I gotta say, when you throw that switch, you think galvanite's gonna explode out of it, you know what I mean? But it was a lot of fun. So I've been doing that. I got to get refocused and start promoting myself. But you also have a Kickstarter.
I do. It's crazy. Because I decided, one of the reasons I decided to, I love my comic. I love Luke, and I plan on doing something later there. But I was like, I need like a bigger amount if I'm going to keep production at this pace. And I was like, well, let me make the actual goal one platform and just concentrate it all. And I felt like Kickstarter is the default for most people in the comic industry. So many people say I'd rather just wait for the Kickstarter, and also that algorithm, they really prioritize that first day. So if you plop a second chance on Kickstarter, I realized I was kind of, in some way shooting myself in the foot by doing that. And so I felt, just for business reasons, that was the right move this time around.
I don't think Luke's going to get hurt. Luke's
a great guy,
Luke, like I asked Luke, I said, are you going to be upset if I go on Kickstarter? And he was like, no, you got to make that money. You got to make that money.
No, Luke knows what he's doing. He's a great guy.
But
and
me, I'm always going to go and fund my comic first.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm going to give it like 2 months without any competition, and then I'll go on Kickstarter. I did okay on Kickstarter last time around.
Yeah. But you always get a few on Kickstarter. That's the thing. There's always.
I really didn't even announce it yet. I just did a soft launch.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Nobody did. But so I'll start promoting that. Maybe do a whole like Kickstarter pretend launch stream or something.
Yeah.
But Indiegogo, I now that Backer Kit is buying it,
are they? I've been out of the loop. I saw there was some sort of buyout, but I didn't know.
Yeah, Backer Kit is going to buy Indiegogo, and the reason why I'm excited is I'm a big board gamer, and Backer Kit is a board game. It was a crowdfund site made for board games, and I used to go to the Dice Tower Con every year. My wife and I would go, and I knew all those guys like from playing games. Like, I'm not going to say that they're all calling me on the phone or anything, but when I saw them at conventions, they were like, "Yeah, you're that guy, the beard. Yeah, you're the beard." And we play. So they're good guys. So, and they're real human beings. They're not algorithms. So I'm hoping that maybe get a Luke Stone situation. You can actually talk to people.
Yeah. That would be good. Talking to people is good.
So I'll give Indiegogo another chance in the future.
Yeah.
Not right now. But let's address the chat. Some people busting my chops. I thought with Vaughn here, people wouldn't bust my chops; they'd bust Vaughn's chops.
Yeah, is that why I'm brought on? I'm like the shield.
Give me an easy night. We got Ben Sabar. How you doing? He's a voice actor. Eric Grant says, John without the beard looks more girly than Vaughn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, that was really, yeah, I feel very complimented.
Man, that one bothered me so much. I might have to change my maxi pad. Jeez. Hello. Greetings from the homeless shelter. I'm ready for Phenomenon over 3 tomorrow. Good. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's good. What's exciting
you got too. What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, which Transformer was I working on? Optimus or Starscream? Bumblebee. Bumblebee's everybody's favorite, right? You know, an electrical transformer turns high voltage into low voltage. You know, and man, was this an old one? It was like doing work on an antique car. You know what I mean? If you're a mechanic and you got to work on like a car from the 40s, I'm an electrician. I got to work on a transformer from like Ben Franklin's era. It was kind of fun. I got to say, I was a little nervous. And oh man, I don't even want to get into how weird it was to work on this thing because it was so old technology. Yes, I got a comic book on Kickstarter. We got Garfield's Bizarre Adventures over here. We got Bat saying hello. We got Marcus throwing up your links.
Thank you. 8 signups away from 200. We're so close. We got like 100 and something. We got like a bunch, and then it's been just like a little trickle. And I'm like, come on, man. Just 8 more. We can get to
hello, fellow comic book fans, right? Like I'll be like a
yeah.
Hail nerds, Vaughn Claremont's favorite fan. There you go.
I was just listening to a video actually as I was eating about Claremont's like unused plans because I've been waiting on all these like videos, and I finally finished his run yesterday. So
what was his official last issue?
X-Men #3.
Oh, really? The Jay Lee ones was his last issue?
The Jim Lee one. That was at least the last published. Yeah. I don't know if it was the last he wrote because I know he quit halfway through. He 279. Quit. Yeah.
Okay. It's been so long because at that point I was like boycotting the X-Men.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was talking to someone else. Apparently, there was a big sales drop. You said the moment was when Magneto takes over the school, right?
Yeah, X-Men 200.
200.
When the X-Men break Magneto out of the trial, but I lasted 4 more issues. Out of like I had a pull list, I didn't want to screw my shop over, so I bought I quit, but he already pre-ordered for 3 months, so I quit at 204, and then I still have like a full run because I ended up buying years later like long boxes full of other people's collections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but then I binge read them, so I don't remember if I binge read comics. If I just sit there, like right now, I'm binge reading these Hulks.
Yeah.
The Herb Trimpe, Roy Thomas Hulks.
Okay.
I don't remember them as well as if I read them once. I mean, because when you're a kid, you read them and then you read them again because you only have 12 comics to read for the whole month, so you read them over and over again, and then you and your friends talk about them.
I feel like because I spend so much of my time, like most of what I read today is like I have my indie to read pile. I'll get like a few things that are on the shelf. And typically, like, I'm not ready to dive all into current Marvel and DC, and maybe I should. I feel like I'm missing out, especially with Green Lantern. I've liked some of what I've read there, and I'm Hush too. I'm iffy on, but a lot of what I'm reading is like my friends' books that I'm backing. So, and then I'm just trying to dive into the past. The new Fantastic Four movie made me want to read the original stuff, but I'm like, I'm in the middle of multiple runs. Like, I think my next focus point, because my main one was Claremont's X-Men, I think my next focus is finishing up New Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be my next main focus. And Invincible.
Up until George Perez leaves. It's just great. Arkham has a question, John.
Actually, might do Invincible first.
I assume what you tried to type here is if you order digital, when are you going to get the digital codes? I'm gonna do the digital the day before I start shipping, and the comic is complete as far as all the art. The coloring should be finished. Daniel told me last week that he should be finished with the coloring this week, and then I just letter it. And lettering takes like a couple of days. Bill letters it, and then what I do is I send it to an editor, and she just makes sure that the dialogue is good. I don't have any typos and stuff like that. So I'm talking the comic should be done 3 weeks. And then printing could take up to a month. But just to be fair to the people who paid more for shipping and for a physical copy, I'm going to do the digital the day before I start shipping. So I don't have an exact date, but I'm hoping by early September I should be start shipping everything out. So, Comic Books is asking the same question. Logan over here is asking the same question. So there we go. And we're working on another project that's going to be in a comic book that actually goes to comic book stores. I'm being real tight-lipped about that. I got an update on that. I got an okay to continue with the story that I was working on. So that's it's weird to have somebody else tell you what you can and can't write. You have 12 pages and you got to do this. Nope, my first story got rejected because it made the other character look bad. I was like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't thinking. I made all
writing for someone else that something's coming on the shelves?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'm
wow, you beat me to it. All right.
It's not a contest for it.
I'm kidding. I know.
Me in sales, so
No, I'm messing. Yeah, no. I should be really.
And you beat me at conventions. You invited me to a convention last week, but my wife and I already made plans. Like,
it's okay. It was the last second. My friend was like, "Hey, I got a table."
And the funny thing is, Eternal Con is. I said that I want that to be my first convention because it's close. I know the people there. You know what I mean? So
next year. It was slow.
It was in the fall, but I'll try. But I want to go when I have more than just one comic.
Yeah, that's one of the things too. Is having more on your is good. Also, like part of why I'm really hoping that issue 3 does well at launch, right? Is the more, and this is why I want to try and run shorter campaigns. Also, is because the goal really is to get what I need for production, right? And so I want to know, okay, I've got this much in. Here's where we go. And then ultimately, it's like, there'll be some after the fact. All the cool bonus stuff is for the people that back. Like, I'm not a huge variant cover guy, even though I have a lot. Primarily because I always see these artists and I'm like, I can't pay them the whole issue. All right, you got to come, So I try to do that. That is crazy what geeks do. How did you know? Have I said where I live around there? Yeah, I did get Gianni's. How far along is Phenomenova 3? Sorry, interrupted my own thought with my
that's how I put it up. People asking questions.
How far along? So I think I just got a layout for page 15. So we're 13 pages have been inked. So the first 13 have been inked. The first 4 have been colored. I just got a color sample for 10, but there were some art revisions on 10. So we are roughly, we're like 13 have been inked. The others are in progress. And then we're like 4 colored currently. But my colorist said that he was going to get like a batch of pages into me soon. So we're about like, 10% of the way colors and like about a third of the way through inks, and
about 40% through the comic.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't know. I think that doesn't add up that way. I'd say we're about less than a third.
I'm just every time I launch, I want to be more and more complete with the comic.
I did too. Yeah. Then my artists, everyone took long. So my plan, and this is where. One of the biggest things, because I thought, I write, I pay people, and that's it. And one of the things you realize is, talent wrangling is so much work, and networking, and all these things, and promoting. Like, okay, so I have this guy, this variant cover. Oh, this cover artist who said he would fill in this deadline because this other artist couldn't make it. He can't make it because this family stuff is out of his control. Oh my God. And it's always a lot. So I wanted it to be further along at launch.
Right.
But with my campaign, my goal is
to quote Edna Mole, right?
Yeah, my goal ultimately, I kind of made a sacrifice because I was like, what I want to do is make sure I have enough to work through this. Okay, I have 6 because Kickstarter doesn't pay until 2 weeks after. So I was like, 6. I have enough set aside to pay for the 6 weeks worth of art. Okay, they're roughly working at this rate. I'll set aside a little extra. Great. Okay, so now I know they're going to be paid throughout that whole period. And then my goal is I get this amount, boom, they're paid. The rest, we're set, we're going, we're keeping the pace going. And that is what I'm hoping to do. My goal with my campaigns is to keep the momentum going. I've written the first 8 issues, and I have plans for some of the others too. I have plans for Phenomenova Origins, Vivacity, one of my characters I came up with. I ended up going back and I had ideas for like the team. And when I write my characters, I try and come up with a history. So you know how like Jean Grey like joins and there's already an established team, right? In issue 1. Phenomenova is similar, but I was like, okay, well, what's the history? Who's been here the longest? Who knows what's this? And I was writing out this history, and I had always wanted to do some origins. And a girl who's going to be my original artist did the variant covers for Vivacity, who was one of the first characters we designed, and the redhead girl. And I was like, you want to do an origins book with her? She's like, yeah, because she had a kid and everything. And now she's like, you know what? Now that I kind of have some time, you know, I have a husband, whatever. She's like, I want to like do this. This is my dream. And I was like, all right, let's do an origins book. That way that can come out whenever and it won't stop production of Phenomenova. You know, Phenomenova can keep going at this rate. And then, hey, this, you know, that's kind of, it's wrangling a lot of talent. But I think in the spirit of talking about Claremont stuff, I'm trying to build a world while learning not to expand too far, because I think there's when you get too many titles to keep track of, sometimes I was like, yes, I love all these ensemble teams, and sometimes I was like, oh my god, we're talking about these characters again. Like this book, X Factor felt like that sometimes, to be honest. X Factor, sometimes I loved it and sometimes I didn't. I've been training from Power Cleans for the first plus time of Vaughn Coleman. It will be a great promo at the next EuroSCon.
What does that mean?
I was hoping you would know.
Although Freddie said hello, Phenomenova is my favorite indie book to work on. A lot of people a lot of people said that my book was number 2. So there we go.
Dude, well, we also have Dave Brink is in our midst. That's scoundrel. I love Dave Brink.
I don't believe that my book is number 2 while Dave Brink's comics are out there. So, you know.
Dave Brink, yeah, that's the thing. I see Dave Brink's.
And Vivacity.
But thank you, Eric. That means a lot, man.
What is Vivacity's powers?
So Vivacity, so I remember one of the best things for coming up with names is a thesaurus, guys. Great. Or even just not even physically owning one. Just I looked up, I wanted her to have red energy powers. So she absorbs solar energy and converts it into like a concussive force, kind of like Cyclops, except she could shoot it from whenever. Or the only heat related power is if she does her laser eyes. They're called laser, you know. She uses her laser eyes, or she could do concussive blasts, and she could fly when in sunlight. So Vivacity, is obviously, you know, like a girl's full of attractively animated and full of energy. She's literally full of energy. So, you know, that was nice play on words.
Okay, I'll buy it. Characters. You know how I am about names. Okay, I accept. I approve. That's a good one.
It is a good. That was one of my favorite ones.
Dave Brink though is the
king
with good names, man. I get jealous sometimes with Dave Brink. So she has heat powers. She can fly. She can shoot.
She has energy, but she absorbs solar energy. The only heat related power is her laser eyes, but the rest of it, it's like how Cyclops in the older. I know they keep changing it, but it used to be that it was solar energy that converts, right? And then they change it. It's like a punch dimension, but her, it's like Cyclops' power, except kind of Cyclops mixed with Havoc, mixed with some Starfire a little bit.
Master Hobo says, "Can Vivacity beat Mary Sue?" Yeah, it sounds like she can, because Mary Sue can't fight. That's actually going to be in Heroic Tales number 3. She's going to team up with King Fu, and he's going to start teaching her how to fight, because she's 120-pound, maybe even less, 22-year-old book nerd. She has this ultimate power, but she's reluctant to. Well, as of right now, she doesn't know she has the power. So in issue 3, she's going to figure out she has the power, and she's going to be reluctant to use it. So while she's figuring out, can I use this power of Vivacity, will just laser her in half. I like people always bust my chops, because when people say, "Can this guy beat your character?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I like having weaker characters. I
mean, my main character is, you know, because people are like, "Oh, my character beat Galvanite." I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Is because eventually he'll be a really cool hero. Right. He's my hope.
Old kid learning the ropes.
Yeah, he's the idiot kid. You know, he's meant to be like when there's that moment and he's got his hands on his hips and he's next to his father, and it's like endearing. But I also wanted it to be like, it's kind of comedic, because it's like, dude, you're wearing like a skateboard helmet and a sweatshirt, and you're comparing yourself to like an angelic knight in shining armor and like a war hero. Like, No. And he run like that's what I wanted to do. And now with Phenomenova issue 3, I wanted to kind of scale that up. So I actually think this is my best issue. And I thought it was good several drafts ago. My editor would keep passing me notes and I'd keep rethinking scenarios. And I would just keep tightening it and tightening it and tightening it and changing. There was like one of my favorite sequences was like, I pulled it out and I'm like, it doesn't fit anymore.
My next crowdfund is going to be Patriarch #1. And I removed a scene that I just absolutely love because it just
happens sometimes, man.
But I'm going to put it in sooner or later. Arkham wants to know. He's doing a fantasy comic. It's going to be about 12 to 20 issues. Do you think I'm overshooting or should I just do shorter stories? My advice would be do a one issue complete, satisfying one to put your toes in the water. What if it bombs? What if nobody likes it? You know what I mean? So think of a story that you could tell in one complete issue and get that one complete issue out.
I will also say another thing to do, because my story, I don't know if I would call my first issue a complete issue. I don't think I would. It is. No, actually, it is.
If I may interrupt, this is another guy.
Yeah, good man.
The People. Every time I'm like, man, that's such a good.
The People is a good one.
Yep. Lifting one over.
Okay.
He's battling you, I guess.
Yeah, like my first storyline is an 8-issue arc, and while I think it is the best version of that story, man, it takes a lot out of you, and it's going to take more out of me, you know. But I would say, yeah, I would agree with John. Even take advice that I didn't listen to, because keep your first issue as self-contained as possible. Now, I do think Phenomenova issue 1 is fairly self-contained. Like if you read that and you never read anything else, but it is definitely clear that. Yeah, I will, Phil. Remind me. I'm gonna write that down to read The People. Magic Cop 2. I actually don't.
Yeah, I'm on a new job, so I have a new foreman and everything like that. And he didn't recognize me. I was standing next to him waiting for directions, and I forgot that I shaved. And he was just like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" He was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm John. I was here yesterday." He's like, "Oh my God." Yeah. Go Garth. Go Phil. You like?
Yes, that's my LCS. There's one. It's one of 2 LCSs.
Brian Christow. Here's another guy. He wrote Six Gun Gorilla, which I absolutely love. Yeah, read The People, Vaughn.
I will. That and Six Gun. Yeah, now that I finished Claremont's run, I think before I get to New Teen Titans, I'm going to go through some of the indie books I've been sitting on, and
I'm gonna give another shout out to a real good comic.
Yeah, definitely. Arkham, definitely do that. Like a Phenomenova, there were stories that I knew were objectively going to be better as my first comic from a standpoint. But I was like, if your heart is calling out, like if this is what you want to do, get it out there. Like Land of the Lawless was a 10-page short story with a hot chick that's a Western. Probably would have made more money than Phenomenova issue 1, but my heart was just in Phenomenova issue 1. And I was like, this needs to get out there.
This guy, John Dexter, John Dexter. I want to make sure I said the right name. This guy's the best writer in our group. Yeah, he's so good, so good. Right. I gotta make a video on this.
I've had him on my channel once, but I hadn't gotten. All right, I'll have to check out Dinosaur Detective.
Arkham says, no matter what I'm doing, the first issue, just get it out of my head a bit, but do a standalone right after. Yeah, like or do a 5, do something manageable at first.
It sounds corny, but just follow your heart with it, man.
Right. Really, like I don't know. My advice was don't do a 20 arc story.
Also have people read your work
that
are gonna rip you apart. Like
how I would people in this indie sphere make it to 20 issues realistically. Nobody yet.
Nobody.
Brian Polito.
I would be the first.
Brian Polito. So do something manageable, Ron Mosicki, who's doing work on a story. I got to get him the script. Now that the other script is on a deadline, I bumped my schedule. I'm working on the other script. I will have that script done this weekend. But anyway, he wants to know I got tar. They poured tar in the ceiling, and it's extra liquid because of the heat, and it was dripping on me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I look up, and I get beard all over my eyebrows and my mustache. So the whole left side of my face, I just had clumps of tar. And you can't get that out, so the only choice was to shave. Yeah, John Dexter stuff is underrated. Yeah, I know this is like a bad thing to say, but this deserves to be like a movie. Like a True Detective type Netflix show or something. It's that good. Not that
Yeah, see,
comic books are their own thing, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, and sometimes you say that. No, I get it. No, thank you. Yeah, no, it was a fun dinner. It was a fun. Yeah, you should. Heroes Con was great. I'm gonna be at Terrific Con next weekend. That is my personal favorite con. That and Heroes Con are two very comic book focused shows. Baltimore's up there too.
Where's Terrific Con?
It's at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It is it's the first. That's the show. That was the first. Like when I decided I'm making a comic, and I was like fully into reading longer runs. That was the first show I really went into. It was like COVID. People were starting to loosen up. I had dove into Claremont's run, I think during that time. And I was like emerging, like I want to do that. And that was that day. I met Paul Project Analysis the first day of him selling his book before he even went on Kickstarter was that. So literally since day one, I've been buying his stuff. I met him, Billy Tucci, Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Graham Nolan, like a ton of people at that con. It was a big one.
Yeah, Terrific Con, I want to make it too. I forgot about Captain America. They're close to 20 issues. But
Claremont's going to be there.
They've been grinding for years. Yeah. Yeah, if you send me a story, I'll read it. I'll read it. I assume the art's not done.
I feel bad. There's so many people who have sent me their stuff, and I just haven't been getting to it yet.
Yeah,
but I am available as an editor. So if you want to hire me as an editor, I'll bump that up on my priority list. Otherwise, I'll try.
Brian Christel, Six Gun Gorilla is 10. Because I got that. You sent me that graphic novel. Was that 10 issues? You know, I thought it was 6, but then again, I read that in one sitting. I said I was gonna. I'll open it up and I'll take a peek. And I just sat there and I read the whole thing. I very rarely do that. I'm a very slow reader.
I can be too.
Going to MegaCon.
That's my plan. My plan is to even table there if I can. I've already reached out to someone. I have that's it. Brian. Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to talk to him because I might have talked to him. Then I feel bad. I don't know the guy's name.
Oh, okay. It was 6 issues. Okay, one for each bullet in his gun. So yeah, one day I'd like to, me, you, and Paul like go to a convention together.
Oh yeah,
teach me the ropes. The two young guys teach.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that was one of the advantages I did have because I wanted to scale smaller, and now that I've done it, I want to hit more cons next year. Now that I'm like, okay, I've done well at all these cons, and I know the mistakes I made too with some others.
I could see myself. I made this joke before, but it's probably I could see myself talking with people, and then goodbye, and then oh yeah, I forgot to sell them something.
Yeah. That is a thing you got to be mindful of. There are times I'm like talking, I'm like supposed to be doing my job, but I mean I went to what's going on, Torchbearer. I went to this con, and I did a lot of them. I was a table assistant with Michael Golden, and so I learned kind of how to do that whole calling people over the table, making eye contact, setting up, all that stuff. So I'm glad I had like a year or so of doing that before I started selling my own stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to do, go with Paul Thayer. He, that guy could sell ice to an Eskimo.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Brian says he hasn't done a con since the Rona. I miss it so much. Cons can be a blast. I'm trying to think what was the last convention I went to, just comic. I kind of stopped going to comic conventions like right around Corona, right around whatever.
That's when I started going.
But I stopped because I kind of have all the comics I want.
Yeah, I get it.
Like the only comics I don't have are super expensive ones that I've just resigned that unless I hit the lottery, I'm not going to get them. You know what I mean? Like I got almost every Marvel comic. You know what I mean? The only Marvel comics I'm missing are the first Iron Man, the first appearance of Iron Man, the first appearance of Spider-Man. I can't afford those. Who can afford those? Especially after the movies. Maybe the next Marvel movie will tank so bad that it'll bring down the prices of Amazing Fantasy 15. Or I'll get lucky and I'll I told you this amazing collection I bought. People that didn't realize what they had, they sold it to me. Maybe I'll get lucky. Somebody will be like, take these comics off my hand, which has happened. I told you I found some kid came into the comic book store while I was just going through back issues. He had a bag of comics. And he goes to the owner and goes, hey, you want to buy some comics? And the guy goes, get out of here. I sell the comics around here, not you. And he was like, when he left. Something told me to go out. So I went out and I looked at the kid's bag. Guess what he had in that bag?
What?
Well, first off, the Wolverine, the original
Frank Miller.
Wolverine, but Daredevil #1 in near mint condition.
What?
Yeah,
He
and
just had that.
yeah, he had that. He definitely stole it from his dad or something like that. So I was like,
That's
"How much
crazy.
do you want?" He was like, $100. I said, "I'll give you 60." He was sold.
That is insane.
Yeah. So and then
Wow.
I went right back into the comic book store and go, "Look what I just bought for $60." He was like, "Oh my God." I go, "That's why you don't, because you're not nice. You're not a nice person."
That's crazy. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Vaughn, do you ever go to Dean's Natural Foods?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, John, just wear your, yeah, you gotta wear your own, gotta wear your shirts. Yeah. All that hustle stuff. Yeah, I need
It
to
can. It's a lot of coffee is good. You know, but a lot of people, they just sit down and they're like, why does no one come to my table? It's like,
right.
you have to. And I remember like I was sitting with my friend and he's like, cause you get mostly rejections, right? And you have to keep going.
Right.
And people, my friend would be like, oh, that's like disheartening after a while. It's like, no, you gotta, and then you get that one sale and it's like, okay, cool. I'm cool. What's going on, man? Yeah, no, I think that's kind of the key. You gotta just keep going.
Yeah.
And honestly,
like
eventually word of mouth.
Volume. Just keep hitting up everybody. Keep hitting up everybody. I mean, I figure like if me, you, and Paul go, you know, local guys, one of us stands in front of the table and just talks. You know, one of us can go.
Paul does his own thing. He doesn't, because I've tried getting him to split a table. It's like, no,
really?
I do my own thing. He's very like I'll split tables, but Paul is like, I need all of the space. I'm like, all right, Paul. So, but the thing is, we're at shows together all the time because we're both from New Jersey.
How much does it cost to get a table at like
it depends? Eternal. Well, I got lucky because my friend and I split because he was a Hofstra alum, but you know, it depends entirely on the convention. Like some have done $65 tables, some will be like $400 tables. It really depends. It really depends. And no matter so far, like I've always made the table price back. You know, it's just how much further can you go? It really does depend.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'm just excited to do it. It'll be a fun experience. You know, just do it. Yeah. Oh, Jay Vasquez is here. How you doing, Jay? How's everything?
What's going on, Jay?
You got to hit. Okay, hobos. Making jokes of hobos. So, so when do you? Somebody asked, but we kind of skipped over it. When do you think Phenomenova 3 will be shipping? Do you have any idea?
My thing that I have currently is by December. My goal is to get this out by the end of the year. That is my goal. Now, whether it can happen, I was hoping to get up to 4, but my artist had something going on, and it was cool because I did take the time. I wrote a ton of scripts this year earlier, and now I'm annoyed because I'm promoting and I like it, but I'd love to get back to writing because I was writing a short story collection with Allie, and I wrote like 6 short stories, or I think I wrote 4 this year. And then I'll write a ton of stuff. And then, but I'm planning on getting issue 3 out in by December. My hope is I have a few other projects I'm working on by then. And then I want to just keep this momentum going. So yeah, the faster this funds, my goal is if my artists can keep their current rate, or even speed up, because it looks like they're going to speed up. I should have it done by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. So
good.
My hope. That is my hope, is that it's in people's hands before Christmas. That is my hope. I'm doing everything I can on my end to make that happen, including like I gave my artists my deadlines. I'm like, you got to get it done by this rate. The deadline saves enough time for the printer. If everything goes well, it should be done before December. And so far, things were slower at parts, but now they've got the momentum going. Things should be good.
Yeah, Heroic Tales 2, like I said, I'm hoping to be shipping in September. All things go well, but they'll probably I probably won't, because you and I have been pretty. You know, we almost launched on the same day for our first issue, and then you got your second
multiple times. I think multiple times.
And then I got 6 projects in the works right now.
Wow.
and I think I want to wait until they're more complete before I even launch, because I think a lot of stuff that I'm not going to bring up has been hurting crowdfunding, and the people are getting a little gun shy.
People, no, 100%. People are definitely, and that's kind of why I ended up taking like a bit of a more of a personal investment with this. And that's why, like with this Kickstarter, I'm being upfront. Like I need this amount of money to complete the book by a certain time. But as long as I do that, we keep going, because there's something about like, because I'm not making a ton per issue, that means I need to get the next one out and the next and the next, you know? And then eventually I'd love to make money off of it. But everything right now, like, because I've calculated everything in such a way, I don't see myself keeping it down. Even if I hit my 20K stretch goal, I think that's all going to go back into my company right now.
Right.
I want to go
any
into
money Heroic Tales makes goes into making more Heroic Tales.
Yeah, more.
I have a job that pays my bills.
Yeah.
And contrary to what somebody says, I'm not broke. I didn't take out a 401k loan. I love these stupid rumors that people just make up.
Yeah, no, I've got a few around me too. It's whatever. It's no, you know, I want to hit more cons, and then I think eventually my hope is that things stack up enough. You know, that's the thing. There's no easy. If you want quick cash, get out of comics.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
I do it because
run.
I don't know if this is a smart thing to admit, but I do it because this is a fun hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I do it because it's my dream, and I want to make a living.
Well, I always wanted to make a comic book, but like,
yeah,
I'm an electrician. You know what I mean? Like that's my main thing. This is a fun hobby that I enjoy doing, and when I retire in 3 or 4 years, let's see what I do. You know what I mean? Clobbering time this Friday at 8:30 is going to be the Absorbing Man versus Metamorpho. So there we go.
That's awesome. Can you do me a favor, John? After you're done with that stream, can you raid into my launch stream?
Yeah, send me a link and send it on Twitter. And I'll see it.
That's why I'm launching on Friday. Actually, everyone I know had a Friday stream, because I learned what everyone's stream schedules were. Because whenever I go in my campaign, I book a bunch of shows to get on. Like I literally have a calendar, and I'm doing it that way. And so I'm like, oh my god, so many people have a Friday show. And normally I'm like, okay,
you know what? I was going to say Saturday nights is like a wide open space.
I noticed that, but it's also. Well, in theory, I want to go out on Saturday nights, but I've just been working this whole summer.
Yeah, when you're in your 50s, it's like not going out is the new going out. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Rough economy and defaulted crowdfunding came. I've heard, but when I mention that, I'm the bad guy.
Well, that's also, again, if you have global comics, that's why I have digital options too. I fully understand if you're like, I don't want to pay, because you understand, I don't want to charge what I have to charge. You know, I wish I could charge less, man. I really do. And hopefully one day I can for future issues, but I have digital as well. Global comics, obviously backers get the issues first, and then it goes on global comics.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would talk about multiple projects. So like, is Phenomenoma, are you going to make another? Like David Brink has a couple of comics coming out, you know?
Yeah, no. All right. So I'll give you the rundown on some of them. So one of them, my buddy Theo Snodgrass and I, so we're on the show called Rogues Gallery on Iron Oxide's channel. And I was writing this, one of my horror short stories, and I came up with this title, just the title. And so he and I, it's just a running bit. We're always talking about Crazy Woman and whatever. And I came up with the title, I Can Fix Her. And we're like, and I'm like, I just went, all right, I got this pitch. I'm not going to come up with anything else. We're going to come up with a story. Within a couple hours, you come up with a story. We've written the script. Problem is, we're both piss broke, and we need to, but everyone wants this to exist based on the title itself. It's about a demon hunter who has a half demon ex-girlfriend, but she's not like other demons. She's different, and she needs his help. And
I'm not like other succubi.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that's like a comedy book we're doing.
That's a great title.
Yeah, I know that sells right out the gate. It's gonna be like this hot goth chick and this guy who's like, she is, but she's trouble. Semi autobiographical on our parts, but
it's funny. I have a she's not really a villain character, like the Black Cat with Spider-Man. She's not really a villain, but she's This so soon down the line, I want to introduce a character. Her name is Trouble.
That's a good one.
That's what she is.
I have a short story.
Trouble.
I have a short story collection with Ali Lauderdale that we're doing. That I've written 6 short stories and a poem for it, and then one of those is going to be set in the Phenomenova universe. I'm going to introduce a new character. He was one of my earliest characters I came up with, but I haven't. Conceivably, I wouldn't be able to put him in the story until like at earliest, like in the teens in terms of issues. And I'm like, well, what if I just wrote a self-contained story? He's a violent anti-hero character, like a horror story from the perspective of criminals being hunted by an anti-hero. So one of the stories in Reapers in Pursuit will be there. There was also another, because I was writing this and another story, and that's where I Can Fix Her spun off of. But I had like a succubus related story, and then another that's like my pitch kind of for a bad girl book that's related to that. That will be a short story as well. And then if people like those short stories, maybe we'll make it into a comic. I have some other projects that I think are a bit early. One of my friends, Bobby, he read one of my short stories and he's like, I want to edit this and do like a horror style magazine, or I want to draw this out and do a horror style magazine. So we may be doing that. So I've got some horror stuff. Also, if you keep following me, because there's these subreddits like No Sleep, and that have short stories. I think I'm going to post a few of them for free online to get some traction and then publish the rest. And if you want in a short story, that should be done by the end of the year, the short story collection. Allie's doing some of the edits right now. It's got some other writers in there too. So yeah, I mean, Phenomenova, Origins, Vivacity, that is another project I'm working on. So really it's mainly Phenomenova. I'm going to have Phenomenova, Origins, Vivacity is already in production, like in the earliest stages, you know. And then we got the short story collection. I Can Fix is an idea that we really want to get to.
I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah, that, because that's like, I describe it to everyone, and that is an easier sell than Phenomenova. So I know that one's going to do well, but we are all my money, whenever I get extra money, Phenomenova, you know. So it's like I don't want to drop Phenomenova. So that's why if this campaign does really, really, really well, I may be able to go have some I Can Fix It money and get that started right away. Because
you could see me writing a horror story. I wrote a horror story, and I thought I was all original. It was basically vampires in the Old West, and then I saw everybody started doing vampires in the Old West, so I dropped it. I mean, I like the idea. It's what if the vampires just became ranchers, and instead of eating people, they ranch? But the humans are still like, well, they're vampires, and the vampires like, but we're not bad. You know, you eat the cows, we eat the cows. You know, but you're vampires. So that's what I did. I really like the character. I actually have a sequel for it that's set now, and I might put out the sequel first. And if people really like it, I'll do the prequel. But the thing about horror, and I'm sure Vaughn could back me up, it's tough because it's timing.
It's about time. It's about a number of things. Emotion is a big role. So when I write like short stories, like, because I just found I've been writing mostly horror or horror adjacent. It's about feeling. It's about timing. Yeah, pacing. Like even, man, some of the best visual and audio storytelling really you can find in horror or directing. Because I majored in film, like Halloween, like that movie changed my view of storytelling, especially as a filmmaker, to the point where my only full feature script that I wrote in its entirety was a slasher movie. And it would probably be due for another draft, but there was a good movie in there somewhere. After
the Rippaverse news today, would either of you like to offer a statue or an action figure? What would it take? I would love to.
I would love
to, but you got to buy more.
Want to fund it?
I would love to do a million things. Right now, all I could offer is a resin mini of the Patriarch. If anybody's interested in this, I'll send you the file and you can print up a resin mini of the Patriarch. I mean, it's really good, really detailed.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm going to contact the guy who make a Mary Sue one. Yeah, I'd like to get little minis of all my characters. But I would love to do an action figure, but, you know, I got to do Ripper money. You know,
that's the thing, too. So, like I said, you guys back Phenomenova issue 3 day 1, you guys back it tomorrow. That'll help me get more projects, because A, it'll amplify in the algorithm, and B, the faster that goes, more people want to see a successful campaign. So the best way really is to show support, share it. If you like the stories I'm doing, tell people about it. You know, share about it. Tell people what you like. Oh, you would probably like that kind of stuff goes such a long way. Like I can't tell you the amount word of mouth does. Like I've gotten some editor, like someone hired me as an editor because this guy years ago that like I worked with was like, yeah, Vaughn was a nice guy. I hear he edits comics. You should, you know. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So really, that kind of stuff, like it may seem small, but it goes a long, long way. Obviously, signing up to we're 8 signups from 200. So that kind of stuff.
I just want to share this. My wife just sent me a picture. For those of you who don't know, New York right now is just inundated. It's just flooded. There's lightning and thunder. So this is Bell Boulevard.
What?
Yeah, that's Bell Boulevard. So my wife is trying to talk me into not going to work tomorrow. She's ever since my car accident. I guess it's sweet. You know, she's concerned. She doesn't like that I'm driving to work now and driving home. You know, but look at that. So I told her I'll wake up and I'll make an honest assessment in the morning. But you know,
that is crazy.
Construction workers don't just call in. You know what I mean? Like
that's nuts.
You know, wow. We're not regular people. We got to go to work. You got to man the jurisdiction. That's like the thing that would man the jurisdiction. So you know, it might take a boat to work. Pretty cool that Eric is doing more projects with McFarlane Toys. Oh, McFarlane Toys is making the Rippaverse toys. That's news to me. I didn't know that. I'm like my online circle is purposely small.
Yeah. I cast a pretty big net, you know, personally, but I also, yeah, no, I get it.
My you know, I follow, you know, I unfollowed a lot of people. I blocked 3 people, and that
I did too.
My timeline really, really well. And
same.
You know, the internet is fake and gay, so you could just doesn't exist. Might take a boat to work. Yeah, glad I don't live in New York anymore. Does it usually flood like that? Not since companies started seeding the clouds and then denying it. You know, what a coincidence. You know, companies now are making patents for seeding the clouds, and all of a sudden we're having storms.
Yeah, I had just a violent crack of thunder earlier today when I was working. I was in the office and just I was like, oh my god. So I guess that's we took a little bit of it, and you guys are taking the brunt of it. I guess.
Yeah. Are you in North? You're in South Jersey, right?
I'm Central.
Oh, Central Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst part. Nah, I'm only kidding.
Nah, it's great. Love it.
I don't know. My sister lives in South Jersey by Pennsylvania, by Philadelphia. You know, it's funny because my nephews they consider Philadelphia to be like their hometown, even though they live in, that's how close they are. The East is very rainy while the West is very dry. Yeah, it was miserable today. Oh my god, miserable today at work.
It was the opposite yesterday. It was like I was like reading the last couple of X-Men issues. I'm like, I'm gonna read those on my porch. I step outside and it was so hot out. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay with the air conditioning.
Oh no, I even more than that, my comic might get like damp or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, that was yesterday. Today it would have gone damp. Today I didn't attempt to.
I've been joking, but I'm kind of not joking that you know, in about 10, 15 years, we'll be working for Paul Thayer and Vaughn Coleman, you know.
We can only hope.
So there you go. So
I definitely love to hire some people to do some of the production work so I can write more, you know. But
do you do all your pre-press and stuff?
Well, no, that I get people to do. But even still, I have to approve everything. I have to do, there's a lot of the nuts and bolts. There's promoting everything, budgeting everything.
Well, I want to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? For my comics, I want to approve everything. I want to budget.
I do too. But at a certain point, this is one of the things I've realized is ultimately I've realized, yeah, that's true to an extent. But once you start letting certain things go, it mean I could get more stories out. And that's the tough part, right? Is finding the balance between the perfectionist and let's just let it go on to the next one. It's always an eternal struggle, you know.
The first comic, I didn't know what I was doing. So everything was the first time, and everything was exciting, and everything was stressful. I'm a little bit more organized now, and I'm kind of enjoying all the steps, you know. And I know the steps now, and it you know, I could gauge how long each step takes, you know. So I kind of like it. The only thing I would change is I wish I could get a comic done faster. I'd like to get 3 comics done a year instead of 2.
I'm hoping to bump up that rate. So I shot myself in the in the foot a little bit because Phenomenova issue 3, as I was working on it, because so many characters introduced, it was 28 pages. My editor gave me some notes, and he goes, "Wow, you added a lot of pages." I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It needs these pages. And my artist likes to draw a bit like Jim Lee, and I've been kind of writing. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give him some more, especially when there's so many characters that are showing off their powers the first time. I'll give him a little bit more breathing room. So I did allow some more action space in this issue. But I also crammed a hell of a lot of story in there. So then it's going to go back to, like, I decided to make my standard 28 pages going forward. So 3 to 8. 8 might be like a few pages more than 20. It might be like 33 or something. But yeah, I mean, generally it's going to be 28 page standard, but this issue 3 is a chonky one, and it's an important one, a key issue. So, and in my opinion, my best one.
Okay, cool. What is going on with I just saw this. Somebody just sent me this because I didn't know about this. This is news to me, so I'm gonna.
What's going on?
Just about this Rippaverse stuff. This, like I said, contrary to popular belief, I don't spend a lot of time online. You know,
I spend too much because I'm always promoting something. That's the
promoting enough.
Because every time I put my phone away, I'm like, because my artist is on Facebook, my colorist is on Facebook, this person is on this. So it's like I'm always have to be bouncing between the socials, and I would love to scale that back.
Somebody just sent me this. So Rippaverse is working with McFarlane Toys. Wow, 7-inch scale. That's awesome.
Nice. I thought this was announced a while ago now, or is this a new one?
If it was, it's new to me. It's new to me. Good
cool,
job. Good job.
Nice.
Cool. Good for him.
Yeah. People, would you want to make action? I'd love to make everything, man.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's later on. Let's get.
I'd like to see John Hamm as the patriarch flying over Science City, beating the crap out of people. You know, but let's see. You need a creature designer. I worked at Effects. Oh, that's
awesome, dude. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of Lovecraft, and I was like, I'd love to make a Lovecraft, like even short film or film or something like that. If I had, but the thing is, all my money again is going to my ever increasing projects and then marketing those projects. So I would love to
Lovecraft because I can't. But the first issue of Heroic Tales wasn't very Lovecrafty, and but issue number 2, you're gonna see. Matter of fact, I described a dark spawn.
Go ahead.
That's what I described from one of the Lovecraft stories. But you read all the Lovecraft stories.
I've read 50 of them, I think.
Right.
The last one I read was What the Moon Brings.
And in my mind, it was a dark young. And then Renzo drew something completely different. But I looked at what I described, and what I described is also what he drew. So that just shows you how Lovecraft monsters, nobody knows what they look like, because even when you describe them, it doesn't make sense. But and then the story that I'm writing, that's going to be in somebody else's comic. It has like a Lovecraft. Matter of fact, one of the monsters was going to be a Hound of Tindalos, but I changed it. I didn't want to do a ripoff. Yep. Do you want me to send you some of my Lovecraft stuff?
Yeah.
Put it on X. Put it on X. You talk about that you design. I'd love to see it. Oh no, this action figure news is news as of today. Cool. I didn't know about it. Good for him, man. Good for him. Get it in stores. It's not going to be a crowdfund. It's McFarlane Toys, so it's going to be what, like in stores or something, which is weird because here, Eric, if you're watching, I flatter myself like Eric watches my my videos, but do a McFarlane toy and put a 22-page floppy standalone comic book about that character in the comic and put it in stores.
That'd be great.
Because you're working with McFarlane. There you go. Yeah. Make a comic to go with that toy. There you go.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
No, oh, Dirty Patty, that won't be necessary.
So who would win in a fight, the Patriarch or Galvanite?
At this point, Patriarch has what, years of experience? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he would win.
The funny thing is electrical powers is one of the things that would just blast through his defenses. Like you can't.
Okay.
You can't use telekinesis on energy.
Well, then maybe Galvanite would.
Yeah,
At least when he has more training. Yeah.
Yeah, old Galvanite would have to do it, hit him with a lightning bolt. You
Oh,
know?
then yeah, he's got this. As long as he knows, but as long as he's not out. The thing is, the Patriarch is probably. I'd imagine the Patriarch could win for this point in time, but in the future, Galvanite could. Galvanite is.
Yeah, if they're both, let's just say if they were both 20-year veterans, Galvanite would probably, because the Patriarch is really good against physical.
The Phoenix Senshi
I base it on my role-playing game because there's charts of like telekinesis. You know, telekinesis is the ability to move matter with your mind. You know, so unless he takes this 14-year-old boy and slams him against the wall, which the Patriarch wouldn't do, because whenever you have these battles, you always have to. What is the typical behavior of the superhero? Like Superman could beat anybody if Superman just swooped in and used heat vision and took you out while you would. You know what I mean? Like like he flies down, shoots Wonder Woman right in the face with heat vision. You know, fight's over, kind of thing. But that's not the way Superman behaves. So you gotta be true to the character. Patriarch would talk. He try to but that's one of his weaknesses is a energy being,
what about the Phoenix Senshi versus the Patriarch?
Well, what are her
issue 2 yet?
I read issue 2. She's a martial artist, right?
She is, but she's superhuman,
right? So she would have that is the kind of person I'm sure you know your character better, and of course you're biased towards your character, but swords and stuff like is the kind of he's like pretty tough to beat with swords and things like unless she has fire or something like that, because fire he can't manipulate fire.
Gotcha. All right,
but sword, like if she comes with the sword, he could literally like grab it and snap it. You know what I mean? Things like that. Because anything matter based, like mental attacks or energy, would really take him out.
Gotcha.
I like talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Create a clash between John Longbox and Vaughn Coleman. Like me and him fight? Me and Vaughn fight? Galvanite loses, but I think the character Phenomenova wins.
See, he's just doing it.
Yeah.
Didn't even spell Phenomenova right.
Yeah.
Didn't even spell Phenomenova right or use the word correctly. I have my trailer that if you want to play that and then pull up my page, because I realize we've been talking, but I haven't shown it off. And if we could get some more signups,
throw you share your screen.
All right, hold on. Arkham that's Arkham. Okay, yeah, Arkham. Sorry, I was thinking I have to retrain my brain to not think Batman when I see Arkham, because I've just been a Batman fan first.
People don't realize that, but Arkham Asylum is
based on
Miskatonic Asylum, which is in Arkham County, the made-up county in Lovecraft.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Let's see.
Can't wait to see Galvanite as powerful as Palpatine, and somehow Galvanite returned. Really, they still stand no chance against the Dunce Whisperer. I got that book. I didn't read it yet. I'm sorry. I'm still. Oh, speaking of reading, I'm on the last few pages of this. I told you I'm a slow reader.
Damn dirty thing.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
It's been on my list too. So I apologize, Bat Sauce. I've read some of your book. I haven't read all of it yet. I apologize.
Yeah, I got the Dunce Whisperer. I'm impressed with these guys who could write a novel. I'm too impatient.
Yeah. So here, let me go ahead and share this real quick.
Okay, just gotta wait for an image to show up. Make sure it's nothing dirty.
It's clobbering.
All right, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. It's up already.
All right.
That's a cool image right there.
Phenomenova.
If you want to help me,
Yesterday,
that's a mini print too. Our villains and heroes. All right, let me start over. I was talking over my own trailer.
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a superpowered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. he failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.
What's
We're back.
yeah?
Yeah, I gotta share my. I can't share my link though to the sign up.
I'll put it in the private chat,
I
and then
did.
I can put it in the public. Throw it in the. That
It's
looks
in there.
good. My only question is which character was Phenomenova again?
None of them. They say it in the opening line.
Hey, Chris is here. How you doing, Chris?
Hi, Chris. What's
I
up?
haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm 8 signups away from 200. So if you're even considering backing, make sure you do. And if you back on day one, you get the Phoenix Senshi trading card. So if I don't hit a stretch goal and I've already paid for the art, I bring that trading card over for day one on the next campaign. So, but you get more bang for your buck, obviously, the more stretch goals you get. So I want to make sure my backers that it's extra incentive. You guys get more than the others. You get the variant covers I'm going to print a low quantity, and then whatever's left over, I don't plan on going to second printings with the variant covers. Maybe I'll use art for t-shirts and things like that, but as a cover, if you want that as a cover, you got to back the campaign. Otherwise, they will be very limited after the fact and probably up in price. So,
it looks good. Your comic is well made comic.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think issue 3 is already. So you want us to do alert of on launch? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Is that because it normally just says you notify me on launch. Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Notify me on launch.
So you're gonna launch on Friday. After it's clobbering time, I'll pop in, and if you wouldn't mind sharing my Kickstarter link.
No.
I haven't even
yeah, of course.
advertising mine. So
Yeah.
we'll be the Kickstarter brothers.
Yeah.
We'll be like those wrestlers. What were they called?
I don't know.
The bushwhackers. The bushwhackers.
I'm sharing my. So yeah, we're 192. Yeah, just hit notify.
Okay. Before you start, you see that red band? Is your email bouncing too?
Mine was, but I think it's fine now.
Yeah, because mine, and I checked it, I sent it, I checked it, and it's still saying it's bouncing, but it's my email, guys. I don't know what they want me to do. All right. So this is notify on launch.
Yeah.
I like.
Let me go ahead.
Redhead is a good design.
Yeah, Vivacity. She was one of the first ones designed. So we've got the 6 characters here.
Right?
Phoenix Senshi, for the day 1 trading card. So this issue is also different in that the characters from issue 1 are going to have smaller roles this time. We're kind of shifting focus, and then we're going to bring them back together with 4. But we're going to see the Phoenix Senshi and Galvanite kind of take a back role as we follow Estrella. So in the events of issue 2, she absorbed Miles' memories from the reactor, and now she's combining those memories with her own and the memories she can absorb from the location. So she has psychometry. which means she's deaf and blind, Estrella, but she could see the world through absorbing the memories and information of the world around her in real time. And so she's able to absorb the memories of the events that
You
took
call
place
that
before.
psychometry?
Yeah, psychometry. It's based on a but I kind of put my own spin on it. And
Yeah,
so
psychometry is you pick up a coffee mug and you get the impressions of who last drank the coffee mug.
yeah, so she could do that, and she could
Okay.
so she can like when she's feeling the crime scene, we're kind of seeing the events play out. And so
Cool.
that's kind of how we're first introduced to the team. So we see, because in issue 1, we see our characters knocked out, and then he wakes up, but we don't know what happened in between. We don't know how the villains got into the reactor. We get told about some of the consequences of his actions, but we don't see all of the details. We're going to see the details and get answers to questions, as well as raise new questions, introduce new characters, and have some really cool action. So this is a lot. This is, I think, some of my best storytelling and how personally I was able to, and so I think you're going to see a lot of that, like a lot of first appearances too. So we've got Force is the leader of Phenomenova. He's kind of like our Cyclops-esque or Captain America-esque character. So he's got force fields that can go around him, but they can be used offensively. So when he makes one around his fist and punches someone, they bounce off and go flying. It's a force punch. He can also, so anything, his force fields are indestructible, but they have to be around him. So he can bring someone close and expend it a little bit outside of himself, but he can't make it outside of he can't be like, oh, that person over there, force field around them.
So personal force fields.
Yes.
Okay.
But he can, people that are around him, he can protect them with him. But yeah, they're personal force fields.
What's his name?
Force.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And then we've got Thermo, which is the guy.
Let me guess. Heat.
And cold. So
right. Well, thermo means temperature and cold.
Yeah. So his suit will glow blue on all those lines when he uses cold, red when he uses heat, and purple in its default state. Okay. And then Vivacity I described earlier, Estrella I described, and then we've got our villains. We've got the Stormbearers. So Dark Cloud, who is already the fan favorite. Zach did one of those covers. And then we got Thunderclap, who's his right-hand man, who's got sonic wrist gauntlets and he can also strike with bolts of lightning. But so he can use those, kind of like Shocker a bit. We've got Army, who can clone himself. Master Metallo, he doesn't have Magneto level, but he can manipulate metal to his will. So
let's get back to Army. So this guy can make replicants of himself?
Yes, clones of himself.
Now, see, that's one of my powers I'm fascinated with, but I have really strict rules how I would use it. Like Madrox the Multiple Man in the Peter David run. Sorry, Peter David, you did it wrong. Do they have autonomy? Are they slaves?
Kind of. So they work as one. Yeah. So they don't have full autonomy. No. But they can absorb into one. There's kind of like a prime, but he can absorb information from multiple different places and bring them back. But he will never have an argument with himself. Ultimately,
the way I think about it is if I replicate myself and then my replicate gets destroyed, I never learn that information. It's like an amoeba. An amoeba goes out and eats a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then I go over here and eat Burger King. But when I rejoin, now I have McDonald's and Burger King. But if one of them gets destroyed, I never get that McDonald's.
Which is why there's always got to be a prime. That's a good way of putting it. I don't think I ever explicitly said that, but I kind of mentally thought that. That's a good point. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm taking. But no, I did think of that. He can absorb, so he can spread out and absorb information and bring it back to himself. But obviously, there's got to be one. And the more he spreads himself thin, the less, the easier the clones are to defeat, the dumber they get, and the less powerful they get.
Okay, I'll buy that.
So if he makes 50 of himself, if you does 5 of himself, they can do more complicated tasks. They can be smarter, but the more of them there are, they're more like a dumb mob. So if he wants to swarm someone real quick, he'll just make a bunch. But if he wants to make less, it's whatever. Then Brute, who is super strength and invulnerability. And then, Master Metallo can manipulate metal to an extent. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You guys know me well enough. You know me well enough. What else would do with that power? basically Rat Pack people, surround a villain and beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Army is a character that the thing is, a lot of the villains I designed them, or either they were characters that I already had in my mind, or in the case of Master Metallo, he was someone I invented because I needed a character to fill a certain role, and I was like, okay. And then there's another two characters that aren't on these covers. One kind of is. You'll understand when you see it.
I want to address what Eric Grant's. I thought I was original when I wrote a character with psychometry.
I thought I was too.
But that's the thing about superheroes, though. They've all been done before. Let's be honest. So that's one of my things when anybody goes, "Oh, this character is a ripoff." It's like, yeah. If you're working in superheroes, it very rarely do you come up with something totally original and totally different. So to me, what makes it different is, the quirks you do, the powers, the personality, the stories, the situation.
Yeah.
A flying strong guy with the cape. It's
done a million times, but you got to do something original with it. Exactly.
I literally have a Superman level character, Captain Atlas, who, to me, this is like a taboo thing to say, but he would stand a chance of actually beating Superman. But he's got a weakness that totally makes him different than Superman. You'll see when he's going to be introduced in Patriarch #1. But I like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a flying, strong, invulnerable guy. They're a dime a dozen. But what he would do with them, a kid with electrical powers. What's different about your kid with electrical powers is he's white, because
That's all. No, so I came up with them because I was like, the Flash. I see all these characters with lightning powers and no super speed, because the Flash had a lightning bolt and he didn't have lightning powers. And I was like, well, what if I had some lightning powers and super speed? And boom, that's how the character was born.
If it isn't 100% original, you failed as a writer. Yeah. I don't know. I was going to get out of the weeds and stuff like that, but it's all been done. What do they say? There's only 7 stories. Nobody can beat the Dunce Whisperer at the peak of OG creation. Yeah, I find that like Galvanite. What I like about Galvanite is he's not all powerful. So far, obviously, I only read 2 of your comics. You know what I mean? None of your guys seem unbeatable.
No.
You know what I mean?
Especially not Galvanite. Like, I almost feel like I brutalize him too much right now, but it's going to get worse, by the way, for him. Yeah. He's going to have a rough time. But,
I goof around with Paul Thayer all the time. He's always talking about Crimson Pain. And I'm like, yeah, these are the guys that could beat Crimson Pain. And he's like, no, they can't. I'm like, yeah. Otherwise, it's a Mary Sue character. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be ways to be, like, make your guy the most powerful guy. I think is just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I mean, unless you're purposely coming up with a Galactus type character that's like a plot point or like a, but even Galactus, well, they made the ultimate nullifier because they made it too. But Galactus's weakness is he starves and his power. But I don't know. I'm babbling. I'm babbling.
I'm gonna put it's the first cover, the main cover. It's the same artist inside. The rest are not the same artist.
All of Vaughn's characters were stolen from African Americans.
That is not true.
I can point that out. Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I went and I got Harlem Comics Black Estrella #1, and then Vaughn puts out Estrella.
Okay.
The art is really good.
Different artists, same except for the main cover. Main cover is same artists. The main cover is gonna continue at least for now. I don't see any reason to change it. The main cover from being the interior.
Are you reading current X-Men? I know you're on an X-Men.
No.
Okay, because somebody told me now that like all the X-Men are like way overpowered now.
I don't know.
Is anybody, because that is just
I read the new Age of what the hell is it? Age of
Apocalypse.
They're doing a different one though. All right, here it is. Age of Revelation. Cypher, Doug Ramsey apparently has like powers from Apocalypse now.
Yeah, that's somebody told me the Storm is the
That is nuts. Come on.
Nothing ruins a character than making them too powerful. Like even when I play my role-playing games, You
I
never
always, even when I was little, I always built heavy limitations into my power. Or if I can't, like, because we'd make ideas with friends, some characters would be based on them or whatever, and I'd be like, nope, you got to have you can't have every power. I'd shut that down. I'd be like, nope, you got to have powers. My friend, actually, the character Thermo was my friend in high school. We were brainstorming. He was like, I know a power that could beat any others, controlling temperature. And he would explain how you could beat basically everything. And that's how the character Thermo was born. So he's based on that friend.
So let me ask Thermo, like, does he like shoot ice, or shoot fire, or does he literally control the kinetic motion of molecules?
A bit of both. He's more so he like a heat wave. He's got a lot of. He's a character that is learning he's the newest until Galvanite showed up, but he is the one with like a ton of potential and deep down the most powerful. So he has on that kind of level. Because I normally don't think on that kind of molecular level, but he's at like, if not there, getting there. Like he can heat an object up so much that it explodes. He can he can freeze things. He can heat things up, like use heat waves and then stuff like that. So I don't know. I haven't gotten too heavy into the molecular stuff yet.
I have an ice guy. I don't want to say his name or anything like that, but he's just a dummy. So he doesn't know the tricks that he could do. So he's just
Thermo is very intelligent, and he's learning bit by bit to control his powers. He's got the most potential part of it is he has to kind of temper it a bit because otherwise he'll just like, if he wants to, he could just blow someone's head up, but he's like, doesn't want to, but he has a ton of potential and could be extremely powerful. The more he learns.
Hey guys, I drawn because their talk is too good. If you want it, I'm working on a monster for cool. Okay, yeah, you get to you do your art, Arkham. His art is so good.
Okay. Yeah, I know after this we're gonna talk more about X-Men because
okay. Well, we've been talking for an hour. I really don't know what else to talk about.
All right, whenever you're ready. I was going at your pace. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna remove yours, and I'm just for a second. I'm gonna.
God forbid you promote your own hard work.
I know. I'm so bad at promoting myself. I actively discourage people from super chatting me. I do YouTube wrong, but I updated my email and it's still saying that it's bouncing. But here we are, without even advertising.
No signups. Come on, guys. No signups.
It's all. How do you know that there's signups?
Because I just checked it. But I also don't think they have my link.
Oh! I thought you were talking about my campaign.
Yeah, no.
So this is just a mirror. I ported everything from everything else because I realized last time I kind of shot myself in the foot. I did a different cover for each platform, and a couple of people were like, I would have gotten all 4 covers, but that meant all 3 covers, but then I would have had to pay $30 in shipping. $10 for this platform, $10 this platform, $10. So I said, you're right. Hold on. Wait. When everything's over, everything's going to get ported over. So as Kickstarter ended, I took the Kickstarter exclusives, put them on my comic. As Indigo ended, so now you could get everything on one side. I kind of, I would have sold more variant covers, but also I'm toning down. Every comic is going to have a cover and a variant cover because it's going to be a flip book, so there's going to be 2 versions. And then it evolved into having this cosplay cover, because I sent Martina Marcota a t-shirt and then she sent me these pictures of people like, you got to make a cosplay cover. And nice. Crenshaw. Did you see Crenshaw? As the picture?
Nice.
So that's going to be a flip book. But guys, there's nothing different here. I'm the worst salesman, huh? But you can get everything from my comic in here. It's just a few people just don't trust the Fund My Comic for whatever reason. Oh, this should be unlocked. We unlocked the 3rd stretch goal, the subterranean card. I got to update that. So there we go. And I got a bunch of cards in the works. So let's get this way up. So Kickstarter 25 more days to go. And I hope as soon as this ends that we could like start like get ready to ship. Yeah, Renzo is the true patriarch. Yep. I have a character whose superpower is stupidity, self-insert. I backed on Fund My. Yeah, that's fine. I tell you the truth, I prefer if you backed on Fund My Comic because I want that platform to be successful. I have a character whose superpower is stupidity. He's a politician.
Nice.
Yeah. In Rogue Tales #1, the backup story was the origin of a main villain who is a politician and he's evil. And then people got mad at me because I made him evil. Jeez, evil characters do evil things. Hail, John and Vaughn, looking forward to getting the Sunburst top cover. There you go.
Sunburst? I guess he means like my sunset one?
Oh, yeah, the sun. Yeah.
I guess
it's
so.
Funny because somebody was telling me, I like the Shining Sun cover. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Turns out it was the back issue.
Or yours.
But it's funny how nicknames. Yeah, Thermo is a cool villain.
He's a hero.
Comic cover over. Could they still get the San Diego Comic-Con cover?
Who are they talking to me? I wasn't there.
I assume they're talking to you because I don't have it. That's legit my character, Eric. Okay. That one.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it just me or did I have a stroke because I can't understand the chat tonight?
There was some confusing language.
But that, guys, check out Kickstarter and one of these days I'll actually make a stream and promote my Kickstarter.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I should.
In the meantime, you could swing by mine tomorrow. I'm going to be going. I was making a list of like stuff to do. I was getting new intros. I very much need them. And yeah. So we're going to close this down and we're going to go over to Vaughn's channel and talk about X-Men. All right. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So see you, everybody. Thank you. And
of course,
sign
up for Phenomenal Over 8 away. Come on, 8 away, and make sure you guys back tomorrow. Show up for my launch party. We're going to make it a fun thing. It's not just going to be a promo stream. I'm going to make sure to do some fun stuff. We're going to have I'm going to be showing off some old art, like way back in the day. It'll be maybe I might even read some of my horrible old scripts. We'll see if people want that, or some of my old videos when I was like in 5th grade. So we'll see.
From 6 months ago. All right. Good night, everybody.